Let me start by saying that I think it's fashionable for us to think in Europe that we can't create new industries, that we're not able to create new jobs. And it's not true. And that's what this new report about the app economy shows today. 5 years ago, the app economy did not exist. You didn't have apps on your smartphone. None of us in this room owned a tablet. But today in Europe, there are 1 million app developers. They support an economy that consists of 1.8 million jobs. Almost all of them are middle-class jobs, and they bring in revenues of 17 billion euros every year. And that's important. This is not fluff. I think sometimes because this sort of business is below our own personal radar, we think that it's just about games or it's just something for teenagers. But it's very, very real in economic terms. But not only in economic terms. It's also things like cultural content. It's the new way that we can bring Europe's rich cultural heritage to the world. It's about things like citizen rights. It's even for institutions like the EU. Look at our passenger rights app, for example. And what's most important, I feel, is that we're used to being defeatist or second rank when it comes to technology in Europe. And that's not true here. We are level pegging. We are level with the US when it comes to app development. And we are also the biggest in many respects. Look at a game and a series of content like Angry Birds by Rovio in Finland. They got an audience of 50 million in 35 days. That's the fastest ramp up of any technology in history. And it happened here in Europe. And what this study shows is that by 2018, if we do the right things, there could be 4.8 million jobs, an extra 3 million jobs in the next 5 years. So Neelie Kroes has got two messages that come out of this news. The first is, in particular if you're a young person, wake up to this opportunity, get ready, go out and grab one of these 3 million jobs for yourself. And then her second message is about our core job as European regulators. And it's about making sure we don't throw this excellent, fast-moving train off course. And there's 3 things we need to do to make sure that happens. First is make sure we give these app developers connectivity. That's why we want to make it faster and easier to invest in broadband. 2 is we need to give them net neutrality. Net neutrality does not exist in law for 97% of people in Europe today. We have to give them that protection. We have to give it to them in a form that doesn't kill innovation, that doesn't stop these app developers from doing what they do best. And that's why we need members of the European Parliament to vote in favour of net neutrality laws in the coming weeks. And we also need to end roaming. When you have hundreds of millions of people turning off their data or turning off their phones and their tablets completely when they roam, what they're doing is turning off the lifeblood of apps. If you don't have that connection, you can't use those apps. You can't bring income to those developers. So that's why we also rely on the members of the European Parliament to vote to end roaming in the coming weeks.